What's up mga kamarites? And welcome na naman dito sa ating isang balitaktakan tungkol sa showbiz, politics, and global issues. And kung hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe sa aking channel, ay please subscribe naman and click and hit notification bell para lagi kang updated sa ating mga balitaktakan at issues. Ngayon nga mga Marites, I'm so sad to deliver this news about Ukraine. So thousands of people protested in Georgia's capital on Friday, calling for an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So the crowd was also calling for the resignation of the Georgian Prime Minister, Irakli Garibashvili, after he announced on Friday he would not join international sanctions on Russia. And andito nga mga kamarites, ang libo-libong mga taong nagprotesta sa Russia, sa Georgia's capital. Okay, panoorin natin. Napakaraming tao talaga ang nanlumo at nagbigay ng suporta. They say, save Ukraine. Sana nga ay maayos na itong kaguluhang ito kasi nga it may lead a world war, you know, especially kung yung ibang countries ay makikialam na or mag-intervene. So, another news mga kamarites is ito ngang NATO has activated its NATO response force. So, marking the first time the alliance has activated a potentially 40,000 person force for a deterrence and defense role according to a NATO spokesperson. Andito na nga mga Marites, panoorin natin yung video and let's listen.
And territorial integrity, its right of self-defense, and its right to choose its own path.
Ito nga yung Russia-Ukraine crisis. The capital, Kyiv, remains on edge. At least 8 people were injured and 150 were evacuated after a rocket hit an apartment in a suburb. The Ukrainian military said 18,000 assault rifles have been distributed to the territorial defense volunteers in Kyiv. Residents near the capital were warned to take shelter and prepare for the imminent military action. NATO has activated its response force, which potentially has up to 40,000 troops. It's the first time the NATO alliance has activated a force of a deterrence and defense role.
There must be no space for miscalculation or misunderstanding. We will do what it takes to protect and defend every ally and every inch of NATO territory.
More than 50,000 Ukrainians have fled the country has 2 days, mostly to Poland and Moldova. The US, European allies, and partners are coordinating to help ensure neighboring countries keep their borders open. Okay, yun nga yung isang announcement ng NATO. NATO pala yun, no? Mga Marites, hindi pala NATO. Pasensya na, ha? Okay. Alright, so andito na nga. This is the news tonight. President Zelensky, Russian troops will try to storm Kyiv tonight, and the fate of Ukraine is being decided now. He is calling on Ukrainians to defend the capital with their lives. We have Liv reporting from Dnipro. Okay, so panoorin natin itong news from CNBC. Okay.
We're hearing bombing everywhere. The Russians are now conducting a full-scale invasion.
This is a city that is completely and totally terrified.
The United States will join them in sanctioning President Putin.
Russian forces have been trying to push into the capital, but they're being met with resistance.
I believe in my army. I believe in my people.
We'll fight, even if Europe doesn't help us.
So this is Russia invades Ukraine.
Good evening. The tip of Vladimir Putin's spear is about to pierce the heart of Ukraine. In a midnight address, their president, Zelensky, told his nation that Russian troops will likely storm Kyiv tonight. President Zelensky said the fate of Ukraine is being decided now and called on his citizens to defend the capital with their very lives. The Russians are bearing down on that capital with explosions and gunfire. And if they take that capital, the question is what happens to Vladimir Zelensky, his family, and his cabinet? This is a look at Kyiv right now. 2 a.m. there, explosions and air sirens reported in the distance. Up until now, Russian troops have faced much stiffer resistance than the Pentagon says they expected during this full-scale invasion. The day ahead could be a pivotal one, with the future of Ukraine and its people at stake. These are Ukrainian National Guardsmen taking up position on a bridge in central Kyiv. They're lying down in the prone position. Look at this. Their rifles aimed and pointed in the direction from which Russian troops would likely come. Ukrainian forces have blown up bridges near Kyiv to try to make it harder for the Russian military vehicles to advance on the capital. This video shows Ukrainian men grabbing guns out of crates in the city. Ukraine's defense ministry has called on civilians far and wide to prepare Molotov cocktails to fight back. On Ukrainian TV, they broadcast instructions on how to make them. A massive explosion and fireball lit up the night sky before dawn in Kyiv. The Ukrainian military reports it shot down a Russian aircraft and 2 incoming cruise missiles. We cannot confirm that report. Russia denies losing any aircraft. But you could see the fireball there as it erupted and slowly descended. The scene captured on both surveillance and eyewitness cell phone videos. Russian propaganda claims that Russian President Volodymyr Zelensky had fled the city. He had not. Zelensky posted this video of himself and his cabinet on the streets of Kyiv. He delivered a clear message. We are here. We are in Kyiv. We are defending Ukraine. President Zelensky says he's target number 1 on Russia's hit list and that Russian saboteurs are already in the city. Just 3 years ago, Zelensky was a comedian and actor who played a president on television. The Pentagon has warned Putin wants to decapitate Ukraine's government and install its own puppet regime. In a chilling address today, Putin urged Ukrainian troops to turn against their own country and stage a military coup to seize power and negotiate a surrender.
Don't let neo-Nazis and Banderites use your children, your wives, and old people as human shields. Take power into your own hands. It seems that it will be easier for us to come to terms with you than with this gang of drug addicts and neo-Nazis who settled in Kyiv and took all Ukrainian people hostage.
Words that mean nothing and full of lies. Some of the fiercest fighting has been in and around the city of Kharkiv in the east, not far from the Russian border in the northeastern Ukraine. The wreckage of destroyed Russian military vehicles left smoldering. Ukraine's military claims it's inflicted heavy losses and killed nearly 3,000 Russian troops. Here again, we have no way to verify that report. This is surveillance video showing a column of Russian military vehicles pushing up from southern Ukraine. And look at these Russian soldiers trying to break and disable the cameras in an attempt to hide their movements. We're seeing some harrowing scenes in Kyiv, gunshots fired into the air by security at a train station, crowds of desperate Ukrainians, some with toddlers in arms, trying to pack onto trains to escape this nightmare. Dramatic video from a suburb of Kyiv shows an armored military vehicle swerving and crashing on a coming car on a public street. Bystanders able to pull the driver out of the wreckage. He reportedly survived. Full coverage ahead. We begin tonight with Matt Bradley, live in Dnipro in eastern Ukraine. Matt.
Yeah, we just heard from President Vladimir Zelensky. He has made a series of increasingly dire speeches over the last several days, including ones in Russian, appealing directly to the Russian people to appeal to their president, Vladimir Putin, to stop fighting. But tonight was the decisive night. He told his people that they had to defend their whole country, but particularly their capital, Kyiv, which is under an increased threat tonight as Russian forces surround the capital and move in from several different sides. He said it's been a long day, but it's going to be an even more complicated night. He called on all of his citizens to rise up to defend their country, to defend their elderly, their children, their women. And he said that this was a decisive night. This is the night that it's going to happen. Shep?
Okay. Napakalungkot talaga ng balitang ito, no? And of course, on day 2 of Russia invasion of Ukraine, President Vladimir Zelensky was still standing. The embattled leader said he that he wouldn't back down. We are here, he said in a video on Friday night, standing in front of the presidency building, flanked his top advisors. We are protecting Ukraine. Okay, this is very sad. And Russian and Ukraine forces clashes on the outskirts of the Ukrainian capital on Saturdays as authorities urge citizens to help defend the city from advancing Russian forces in the worst European security crisis in decades. So ito na nga po yung yung sinunog na mga buildings. Alright, at ito nga po yung yung nag-crash na it's a disturbing footage that has captured the moment a tank swerved towards a civilian vehicle and then reversed over it. Oh my god. It's so heartbreaking. An elderly man was inside a car. So, matanda pala yung nasa ilalim ng car and it was run over and has miraculously survived the ordeal. So, a team of rescuers can be seen attempting to remove the man from his crushed vehicle in a northern district, the Ukraine capital. Okay, so ito naman news from the National Geographic News. A 30-year struggle for independence with this visual timeline. Okay, so ito nga guys, what happened to these? They are really spinning. Okay, what's this?
Holy shit!
So it is actually Russia versus Ukraine army fight live war update. It's the live. Okay, and then this is the Ukraine president Zelensky reportedly told European Union leaders in a video call Friday night that it could be the last time they see him alive. Okay. Mahirap din kasi talagang makialam yung ibang countries, ibang nation dito sa conflict na to because it can, lead to a world war. Kaya sana lang maayos naman sana nila yung kanilang problema. So this one is within a day of entering Ukraine, Russian forces lost some momentum, U.S. and British officials said as Ukraine fighters mounted a resistance. No population centers had been taken, a defense department officially said, nor had Russia yet managed to achieve air superiority over Ukraine. So ito na yung Russia vetoes UN Security Council resolution that denounces its invasion of Ukraine. So Ukraine will not kneel, one of the prospective enlistees told the news outlet. Ito pa nga yung isang makapagdamdaming site, no? Kasi talagang family discovered in war, viral now. This one Ukrainian father just cried because he was separated from his son and wife, so he had to stay to fight war against Russia too. Napakalungkot. Mga Marites. Ang sakit tingnan, panoorin itong ganito, oy. Okay. And ito na nga po yung okay. So ito po yung mga kabuuan, okay, and then this one, Secretary of State Antony Blinken responded to a question on whether the U.S. will cut off purchases of oil and gas from Russia over its invasion of Ukraine by stating that we're trying to ensure that we inflict maximum pain on Russia, while at the same time minimizing any of the pain to us. So Kazakhstan, one of Russia's closest allies and southern neighbor, is denying to request for its troops to join the offensive in Ukraine. So ang Kazakhstan ay tumanggi na sumuporta sa Russia to invade Ukraine. So 3 years ago, he was playing a president in a popular television comedy. Today, he is Ukraine's president, confronting Russia's fearsome military might. France will send aid of 300 million euros to Ukraine, President Emmanuel Macron announced on Friday, February 25. Okay. So ito pa yun so far. Mga Marites, ang update ng Ukraine and Russia crisis today. And these are some of the photos taken during the invasion. Okay, mga Marites, I think that's all for today. And sana ipagdasal natin na mahinto na nga ang crisis between Ukraine and Russia, kasi ang daming pwede nitong maidulot na negative sa atin, sa lahat, hindi lang sa dalawang countries na ito. So Zelensky offer arms to the citizens to defend themselves, the elders, their kids, and their wives. So let us all pray for Ukraine and Russia na sana ma-okay na nga. And okay, the war in Ukraine is both similar to all the times before and different. They also express okay. So ito nga mga Marites, I think that's all for today. And Once again, if hindi pa kayo nakapag-subscribe sa ating channel, ay please click subscribe button and hit the notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa ating mga issues globally, politically, and showbiz. That's all for today, and bye mga Marites! Until next time!